Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Hope you guys are all having a fantastic, absolutely fantastic. What day is it? Wednesday, right? Hope you guys are all having a fantastic Wednesday. It's your boy John. Checking in. Yeah, so I got a little bit of time, and I figured, what I want to do is just maybe just jump on real quick and just chat with you guys for a little bit. You know what I mean? Had a little bit of time. One Prez I getting us started with a comment here. It says pray for Jamaica. Obviously, Jamaica has been devastated by the recent hurricane. So to all of my Jamaicans tuning in right now, I just want you to know my heart goes out to y'all. I hope you guys are all safe and sound, and of course, take care of yourselves, because your health and your safety is the most important thing. But yeah, today's going to be just a bit of a short one, a bit of a chill one. Vish in the chat, numero uno moderator, what's going on? He says, Wagwan. Big up the early rises, early 4:30 a.m. Damn! Manish Sharma. Are you checking in from Manish? 4:30. Has to be somewhere in Asia. 1992, Caleb in the chat. What's going on, Caleb? He says, good evening. It's so dark in New York since daylight savings. Caleb, tell me about it, man. It gets dark so fast now. What's up with the whole daylight savings? Can somebody tell me what the daylight savings is about? Like, what's the history behind daylight saving? You know what I mean? I know it has to do with like something about farmers or something. But anyways, Jalen Gladden in the chat says, in your opinion, who has been the best player on Man United this season? Good question, Jalen. Thank you so much for getting us underway. Today's just going to be a bit more of just y'all ask me whatever y'all want to talk about, and I'll answer any of y'all's question. For me, the best player so far has been either Brian Mbeumo, or for me, more personally for me, Matthias de Ligt. I think de Ligt's resurgence and what de Ligt has been doing so far for Manchester United is different levels. I think he's almost kind of rediscovering the form that got him the moves to Juve, to Bayern. You know what I mean? He's been absolutely sensational, and watching de Ligt just lock down that role and build up that level of quality in that back line is huge. And for me, I can't even tell you how much I emphasize the strength of defenders and the stability and the quality of defenders. If you don't have a solid backline, you cannot build up at all. And over the years, we've had such a turbulent backline for Man United fans. And I think Matthias de Ligt and the stability that we're seeing alongside Eleni Yoro, even when Harry Maguire comes on, I mean, how can you not be happy? How can you not be happy? I mean, it is one of those things where it just gets me so relieved to see the backline building up to something that we've been begging for. Stability, calmness, composure, strength. Even if you include your keeper in Senne Lammens, I mean, look at the stability. In a season, we've just absolutely turned things around. You know what I mean? What's going on, Viz? In the Viz in the chat, call me ancestor as always, Viz. Don't. Tom on Footy in the chat. What's going on, Tom? He says, evening, John. Do you think we could possibly see Lisandro Martinez at wingback? I don't think Lisandro Martinez would be suitable for a wingback, simply because I think wingbacks require a little bit more pace. In the sense that you got to go up and down the flank. But let me tell you this. If you're looking at a defender's perspective, there's nobody with a better passing range than Lisandro Martinez in this team right now. When you're talking about distribution, when you're talking about with somebody with the ability to spray on a diag, it is Lisandro Martinez. He can definitely play and compete alongside Luke Shaw on that left side of the center back three. And look, yeah, we only play one game a week at this moment in time. There's obviously less competition going on, but this is the perfect opportunity for somebody like Lisandro Martinez and even Luke Shaw to build that consistency, to build the calm momentum, because we're not getting tossed around with games, coming in thick and fast. It's one of those things where now we have a bit of that rotation, a bit of that breathing room. And in that case, this is the season where we can really, truly, take our time with quote unquote rehabbing some of these players like like Lisandro Martinez, he's been gone for quite some time. You know, he's been out of action for a minute now with those injuries. And even Luke Shaw, look at the amount of minutes that he's claiming now. All those minutes that he spent away and just focusing on training and rehabbing, it's paid off because clearly he's able to stay fit. He's able to stay fit, and he clearly looks more fit now, you know? So, yeah, as much as I think Lisandro Martinez is a phenomenal defender when he is on it, I don't see him as a wingback. I would definitely see him more of a left-sided center back alongside De Ligt, and then maybe you can have Luke Shaw as that wingback role, although I don't think Luke Shaw has the pace anymore, nor do I want him up and down the pitch. I'd rather see him a little bit more safer, tucked in behind. But yeah. Both of them don't really suit that wingback role, you know. But that's not to say Dalot or Dorgu are killing it at this moment either, you know. I think as much as I have a lot of hope for somebody like Patrick Dorgu, I just also feel like Patrick Dorgu is one of those players that is still not ready yet, you know. And Diogo Dalot clearly is selected over Dorgu for the experience in that respect. But, you know, when we're talking about challenging and when we're talking about competition and quality, it's just not quite there yet, you know. Lil Bomber says, Club Brugge robbed. I completely missed the games today. What happened? I think I saw something about Lamine Yamal popping off. Did Barcelona come back? I know they were losing 2-1. But yeah. 1992 Caleb says, you think we'll sign a midfield in the January transfer window? Absolutely. Sorry. Not absolutely in the sense that we will sign a midfielder, but absolutely in the sense that we have to sign a midfielder. One of the things that I said for Man United fans when we started this season was that I said that Manchester United this season in particular, we're going through a transition phase, right? And while things are going to be on the up, we also have to remember that we are in this position where we still need to make some signings and we still need to, you know, mix things around. Look at, for example, Kobbie Mainoo. There's not a guarantee that come January transfer window, he stays. There's also an opportunity where Kobbie Mainoo leaves for just the transfer of just for a loan period, simply for the sake of making sure that he gets minutes and he's able to, you know, compete for a chance at the World Cup. That's absolutely a plausible scenario in this case, you know. And if that happens, then we can't hold him back. You know what I mean? I know he's got mad love for United and I know he wants to stay, but if he wants to compete for the World Cup and he knows he's not going to get those minutes now, we're going to have to let him go. But I know United can't afford to let him go unless we bring in a midfielder. And I know from Manchester United's perspective, we definitely want to keep somebody like Kobbie Mainoo for the long term. So if we're protecting Kobbie Mainoo and his vested interests and trying to do some way of keeping him happy, why not take that opportunity and try to make us happy by signing a midfielder? You know, somebody like an Elliot Anderson would be absolutely crucial for us. I hated the fact that he was all over, you know, he was chirping it up and being hella annoying against us when he was playing a few days ago. But I'm gonna keep it honest with you, that's what we need, you know. And I think at this moment in time, we're probably gonna sign a midfielder also for the sake of letting Kobbie Mainoo go on loan. Then that's just the take in my view. Bispo says Timberwolves gonna stomp on the Knicks tonight. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Knicks are gonna. Aren't we on a 2-win streak? We're gonna get our third win tonight. A in the chat says I want Adam Wharton as our CM. I prefer Adam Wharton to Elliot Anderson as well. I think Adam Wharton is a lot more calmer and a little bit more composed in my view. But hey, if you give me Elliot Anderson for less than 60 M's, I'll take him. You know what I mean? Joe Varade in the chat says prediction on who's going to win the UCL. I predicted early on in the season that I had Bayern Munich winning the Premier League, the Champions League. So let me know. What do you guys think? Hobbs Shaw in the chat says, who do you think is the best player of all time? It's very simple, Hobbs. Hobbs is very simple. You know what? Let's. I'll tell you who the best player I'll tell you who it is. Give me a second. Let's. Let's do this together, y'all. Hold up. How do I do this? There we go.
Player in the world right now.
Son Heung-min.
Ooh, that's a nice take. What about best player in Premier League?
Brun Miguel.
I'll tell you who it is. Watch this video. I'll tell you who it is.
Ooh.
Just watch this video. Hobbs, you watching? This is for you.
United.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
best
watch this
player in La
video.
Liga.
Pedri.
Pedri. Okay. Best player in Bundesliga.
Watch this
Kim
video.
Min-jae.
We're almost there.
Best player in Serie A.
You ask me, who's the greatest player of all time?
Rasmus Højlund.
I'll tell you.
Ooh,
Just
what
wait.
about Ligue 1?
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Of Paris Saint-Germain.
Ooh, okay. That's a nice take. Okay. All right. Who's the GOAT of all time?
Of all time?
Yes, sir.
The greatest?
The greatest.
I'm talking the greatest
go.
goal scorer.
Greatest of all time. Scorer, everything. Full.
The animal goat.
Yeah. Full package. Yeah.
His name is Ji-sung Park.
Hey, Jason Park guy is leaving. He's leaving.
I don't need to say any more. I hope I answered your question. Yeah. Saeed Hab in the chat says, much love, Habibi. What's going on, Saeed? Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. 3 Boaz in the chat says, from the bottom of my heart, I feel for Cubby Manu, and I would love for him to get more playing time, but I do back Amron with all I can. Your thoughts, John? Well, 3 Boaz, thank you for joining us. We just actually literally just spoke about it. I think you might have just joined us a little, a half a second late there. But I do feel for him as well. And I think it's in the best interest of Manchester United to keep our potential in Cubby Manu. And we also have to protect him, you know? We also have to make sure that, it's not your fault. It's all good. We also have to make sure that we protect him and his interests as well. Because at the end of the day, he also wants to be a Man United player. It's not like he wants to leave the club because he hates the club. He still loves the club. He just wants to go on loan because he wants to make sure he puts himself in the best position to be potentially selected for the World Cup squad. I don't blame him one bit. I think a lot of Man United fans in particular, we were brought up on this idea that like it's a club over country. And yeah, you can think that way if you want. You know, that's ain't no problem with that. But you also have to understand that for a lot of players and for a lot of fans, the country also means a lot. And for Cubby Manu, representing England is huge for him. So he wants to make sure he's getting minutes. And if he's not going to get that at United, then at least for the next half of the season, then of course he's going to want to try and put himself in the best position possible, which is why I think he's going to try and force a move to go on loan. And I won't blame him for it. And I actually think Manchester United should let him go on loan if he's not going to get minutes here. But if that happens, then we need a midfielder. Which is why I think in the January transfer window, I think we need to go for somebody like an Adam Morton or an Elliot Anderson. Although I don't feel like it's going to be easy to do so. But hey, never say never, you know? You know what I mean? Sinjin in the chat says loan over loyalty. Well, Sinjin, you have to also understand that it's easier for us to sit here and just say like, hey, like Cubby Manu should be loyal to Manchester United no matter what. But that's impossible. We're talking about a footballer with a very limited time, as a footballer in their career, even more limited at the highest level. You know, they only have a finite amount of time before they can, before they have to hang up their boots. It's very unfair for us to sit here and just be like, no, Cubby Manu should just stop complaining and stay at Man United because we need him to come off the bench. I don't think that's fair. I think that's very unfair on Cubby Manu. If anything, that's just the circumstances of the club and the circumstances of the situation we find ourselves in. There's no way on God's green earth that Ruben Amorim and Manchester United were going to make every single player in the squad happy. That's just not how football works. And unfortunately for Cubby Manu, it comes at a time when he just doesn't fit this current system, or he's just not good enough to keep Bruno off the squad. it's hard to do so. And I feel so bad for Cubby Manu, but I think he also understands the situation. And I don't think he's in a position where he's going to just straight up start roasting anybody. I think he loves Manchester United, which is why I appreciate him that much more. Cubby Manu is a Man United lad, and Manchester United should also do as much as they can to protect him. You know? Mustafa joining us. What's going on, Mustafa? Angel Lamu joining us. Johnny! Mustafa says, I just joined and heard Cubby Manu. What's popping? Now we were just talking about what Cubby Manu's future is at Man United. I don't think he's going to be here next. I think he might go on loan during the January transfer window, and I got no problem with him going on loan and getting some minutes. You know what I mean? Right now, Napoli are without Kevin De Bruyne. You know, Cubby Manu is better than Kevin De Bruyne. I said it. Cubby Manu is better than Kevin De Bruyne. And I'm not talking about Cubby Manu is better than Napoli Kevin De Bruyne. I'm talking about Cubby Manu is better than Manchester City Kevin De Bruyne. Yes, said it. Yes, said it. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? Yeah, I said it. The chats are like, there's no way John just said that. Danny Maggie says, it's easier to be better than an injured player. Hey, Danny Maggie. You right. You right. Just saying, you right. United Talks community in the chat, what's going on? Angel Hamoose is looking at the fixtures list. Where do you think we'll be in the table by January? I definitely, Angel, I'll tell you right now, we'll definitely be in the top half for sure. And I really think that Manchester United could definitely finish in the top 6. So somewhere between 6 and 10 would be ideal for me. You know? John, there's a guy with a dot in his name on TikTok says, John, who would you want United to sign for the midfield and the left wing back role? Well, left wing back is a little bit more, I think, a little bit more loose. I think we have options in that sense. But when we're talking about midfielders, at this moment in time, I would really love either Adam Morton or Angelo Stiller from Stuttgart. But for me, at the end of the day, if you give me Elliot Anderson for less than 60 M's, I'll take that. I'll take that all day. You know? Vishpo. Vish says, won't go on loan, John. We need number 10s when AFCON is on. That's actually very true, Vish. That's actually very, very true. But is Cubby going to be selected as a attacking 10? If we take what Ruben Amorim says to heart, Ruben Amorim says that Cubby Manu competes with Bruno Fernandes, and Bruno Fernandes plays in the midfield too alongside Casemiro. So do we think that, you know, at that point it's one of those situations where Cubby isn't really selected or looked at as an attacking 10? Ray with his $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Ray. Appreciate you. He says, how do you come up with the games for game caterers? Game caterers. What's game caterers? Game. Oh my God. Ray, stop calling me that PD. Stop calling me that PD. Yo, chat real quick. I need y'all to look. We're going to talk about this real quick. I know you guys still have a bunch of questions, but we got to answer this real quick because we've been talking about this for some time now. Y'all telling me I look like this guy right here? Do I really do? This is one of my heroes, a Korean director. You know what I'm saying? Don't do this to me. All right? Not PD's my hero. But thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. I can't wait for Saturday, says Iceberg7899. 3 Boa says Saturday is the revenge arc. Absolutely. Absolutely. Load it up. Load it up. We're going to absolutely slap up Tottenham. Absolutely. Tottenham. Thomas Frank. You just wait. You just wait. We're coming for you. We're coming. The special one in the chat. What's going on, my man? He says you have better hair. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Seth Gallagher's in the chat. Says butt crack. What we like? What we doing here? What we doing here? Butt crack. What the hell? Ray says do the bunny ears thing and we compare. Nope. Ray says Van de Ven's goal yesterday was Sonny-esque. I actually saw Sonny comment on it as well. It was a great run from Van de Ven. I rate Van de Ven. I think he's a quality defender. I was actually kind of jealous of Spurs for picking him up. What was he again? Wolfsburg? Fanny Maggie says Jet Spence is injured. We're so in, bro. Our build up on the right is going to be easier. Vish clearly isn't a big fan of Jet Spence. I think Spurs are respectfully, I think at this moment in time, I think they're a little bit overrated. You know, everybody was like going crazy about the flexibility of Thomas Frank and whatnot. Nah, I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win. Hey! Hey, yo, we got Travis in the chat. iTech is in the chat. He says, what up, chat? iTech is in the building. Shouts out to Trav, my man. He's telling Mustafa to get out of the chat. Hey, yo, we got the content creators all up in the chat right now. What's good, Trav? What's good, Mustafa? I feel like the three of us needs to get on a stream or something. Mustafa, Travis, whoever, whatever, whenever y'all want to jump on a stream, let's do it. Let's do something. I feel like we'll have a good time. Damn! Ray with a 5 gifted. Thank you so much, Ray. Yo, W's in the chat for Radius. Oh my goodness. W's in the chat for Ray with 5 gifted memberships. You absolute legend. Congratulations to those with the extra monthly membership. I know we've been talking about restructuring the membership content. I wasn't going to talk about this now, but screw it. We're going to talk about it now. After Jimmy left, it's been tough trying to figure out what to do. I have found somebody that is very, very interested and somewhat passionate in helping me with my content and helping me grow. So we're restructuring the membership very, very soon. And you guys are going to get special exclusive content as well. In addition to obviously all the stickers and the membership privileges, including discount codes for merch that I'm dropping very, very shortly. So stay tuned for that. It's been a lot going on. One of the things that I realized in the past when I was working with Jimmy, and this is no shade on Jimmy, you know, you guys know how much I love Jimmy, but it was tough because we were both working full time, and Jimmy was not really in the content space. Yeah, he was just kind of there helping me. Yeah, and I got so much love and time for Jimmy in that respect, but now I'm kind of working a little bit more closer with somebody that really understands the content space very, very well, and from a what's the word? Not business sense, but you know, they're a lot more savvy with what we're doing. So we're moving much more quicker than we used to. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be absolutely sick. Yeah, so Trav, Mustafa, we'll chat for sure. Fanny Maggie says, I'm scared of Paulinho and Bentancur midfield. It's going to be a bloodbath. I just don't want any injuries. I'd consider playing Ugarte. Joao Paulinho, obviously good. Bentancur, all right. Yeah, I don't think he's the same as he used to, but I wouldn't start Ugarte in this one. 3 Boy says, I can't stay for long. Sorry, John. I'm actually got school tomorrow. Cool. All good, broski. All good. All right, get some rest and have a great day, yeah? Kai says, how is Mainu different as a player to what Casemiro does? Casemiro has a little bit more of the robustness in the sense of he's got that destructive element on lock. He's got much more of that defensive sense. And the thing that Casemiro is still fantastic. I think the difference, okay, and y'all might not agree with this, but this is not, now I'm getting a little bit technical. Casemiro has the ability to, let's say hypothetically, both Casemiro and Kobbie Mainoo were looking at a specific moment of football where they both win the ball back, right? Let's say whether it's a sliding challenge or intercepting a ball or whatever it is, right? In transition, Casemiro, the thing that he does and the thing that he excels at is he's able to scan prior to the tackle, prior to regaining possession. And when he regains that possession, he's already making the pass per se, in the sense that, like, whether it's on the first touch or lining up the first touch and spraying it on the second, his desire to be progressive and push the ball forward, always in a forward momentum, that quality is world class from Casemiro. And I'm not saying Kobbie Mainoo doesn't have that, but Kobbie Mainoo definitely has a little bit more. Casemiro definitely has more of that first touch play, whereas somebody like Kobbie Mainoo, he's much more of a silky ball carrier. And those two players are very different. And that's why I would say that if we had to pick between the two, Kobbie Mainoo in a midfield two of Ruben Amorim's system is more Bruno Fernandes than Casemiro. So I do understand where Ruben Amorim's coming from. Heejung is in the chat. What's going on, Heejung? She says 4-1 City win, bro. I don't know nothing about that, Heejung. You guys are playing in the Champions League. I don't. Champions League is. If we ain't in it, I don't want to talk about Champions League because we're not in it. But congratulations, yeah. But Heejung, with the greatest respect, I don't think City has what it takes this season. Heejung, I don't know. I feel like it's Bayern Munich's Champions League to win this time around. I mean, I hate the fact that Vincent Kompany's going to win a Champions League, but as a manager, but who knows? We'll see. Ray says, I would help you out with your content if I were in New York City, but if you start a Good Vibes network, I'm in from Southern California. Ray, you already help plenty of times with all the love that you show on the channel and all the good vibes that you bring. So you don't need to worry about a damn thing. All of you guys in the chat who's been sticking around for a very, very long time, I greatly appreciate every single one of y'all. LFEC with a super chat. Thank you so much, LFEC. I think the Peruvian national team jersey would look great on you because of the red color it has. All right. LFEC is our resident Peruvian football expert here. I've seen the Peruvian kit, but I wonder if they've updated it. Ooh, this is the 2020 kit. Okay. Let me see if I could share it with you guys here. Ooh. This is kind of nice, you know. I'm not going to lie to y'all. This is kind of clean. Oh, this is kind of clean. It's a concept kit, or is this the real kit? Is it a concept kit, or is this the real kit? Because if this is the real kit, this is a nice football kit. Very nice football kit. Beautiful football kit. Peru, y'all looking good in this. This is beautiful. Grant Robertson in the chat says, what player would you think would... Sorry, let me read that again. Grant Robertson said, what player would you think would be a perfect placement for Casemiro if he does leave Manchester United? I think it would be Adam Morton right now. I think we need a little bit more of a defined... If we play with a midfield two, like we do right now, we need much more of a defined role. If both obviously need to be robust, but one needs to be able to sit and be an expert in sitting, and the other needs to be able to attack and be an expert in creating. But both obviously has to have the engine element to their game. And I think somebody like an Adam Morton is a player that I prefer. And Adam Morton has proven me wrong quite a bit, because in the past, when we were first linked with him last season, I was not a big fan at all. But I think his game has developed quite a bit, and I think he's won me over. So I would love to have him, actually. But yeah. Kai says, think Kobe Mainu has the potential to develop into a player fit for Amorim's system if given enough time. Absolutely. I agree. But I don't think he would fit the Casemiro mold. I think he'd be more of the Bruno mold, in my view. I think he's got much more of the... I think Kobe Mainu sits much better in the attacking half than in the defending half of midfield. Rohan Kundu in the chat says, any updates on Guehi? I think that Guehi camp got pretty quiet. I haven't really heard anything. Ahad says, John, which front three do you prefer? Cunha, Mount, and Mbumo, or Šeško, Cunha, and Mbumo? That's a tough question. But I prefer Šeško, Cunha, and Mbumo. I think there's a bit more balance there. But that's not to, rub out Šeško or rub out Mason Mount. I think both are obviously very, very good and they're very important to what we do. But what I do like is finally that we can trust a bit of quality with respect to the rotation element of it. I think it's very important that Manchester United have depth and we are competing and we are rotating. Even if Mace comes on for Cunha or, Šeško is dropped or whatever it is, I do feel like Šeško and Mace definitely has an very, very important role to play even in this season, Ray says the Brugge-Barca match today was interesting. I was unfortunately working, so I did not have a chance to watch that game, but it looks like you guys all enjoyed it. Thany Maggie says Arsenal versus FC Bayern is going to be the game of the year. I'm going to do whatever it takes to watch that game because I truly believe that Bayern Munich are going to be the champions of Europe this season. And y'all know I got a soft spot for FC Bayern. So It's Then Do says, what's your take on the Rashford after the loan? I'm happy for Rashi, man. I'm happy for him. Obviously, it didn't work out the way we wanted to. And I always say this all the time. Love is a two-way street, y'all. If y'all old enough to have loved, if y'all young enough to have loved, if you all have loved, you will know love is a two-way street. And people make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And for Rashi, he could have done better at United. And United could have probably done better too. But it's nice to see Rashi doing well. I just feel like Rashi definitely... I got so much love for Rashi and I got time for Rashi, but I just don't like it sometimes when he just kind of goes like, they are in a moment of transition. They've always been in transition, you know, because that makes me feel like Rashi doesn't think that he was part of that transition, you know? And of course he understands. And I know what he's saying, right? He's obviously saying that, you know, the team and there's so many things that have been changing over the years that since he's debuted, and he's right, you know? And he has been one of the more shining lights in our squad. We can't take that away from him. But at the same time, things definitely could have been better from Rashi's perspective. So, all in all, I think it's just better if we moved on. The better, faster people move on, the better. And if he's doing well in Barcelona, then so be it. Enjoy his time, and I wish him all the best. You know what I mean? Grant Robertson says, I was thinking of Angelo Stiller would be good for that Casemiro role. Exactly. But I think Angelo Stiller, if you watch his game, he's a little bit more like a Kobe Mainu than what I mean by that is I think Angelo Stiller is a bit more that finesse midfielder. But I absolutely love Angelo Stiller. If I had an option of Stiller, Adam Wharton, Elliot Anderson, I would go Wharton, Stiller, and then Elliot Anderson. Ahad says, what's your take on Garnacho? I talk about Garnacho. I've talked about him enough times, and I don't want to continue harping on about Garnacho. But I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I always felt like Alejandro Garnacho was just not the right profile of player that we needed at this moment in time, especially at his age and what he brought to the squad. I think he still needed to mature up to a certain level, and I wish him all the best. But I just that's all I'll say. I don't want to talk about him anymore. I think, quite honestly, it's a waste of my time. Howard Shin in the chat says, so what part of the game do we need to win to beat Spurs? Well, Howard, first of all, if you're a Shin, shouts out to the Shin family. But if you're talking about what part, I will tell you this. One thing I absolutely despised when Man United played last season was how weak and how prone and susceptible we were on the counter, especially when it came to the battle in midfield. You saw the Europa League final. We got absolutely thrashed in midfield. We got torn up in midfield. We got, you know what I mean? It was bad. It was bad. Obviously, this season, we've obviously shored up our midfield in the sense that our midfielders in Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro, they are obviously, Casemiro in particular, has looked a lot better. But we can't make that same mistake again. I think this game is going to be won or lost in midfield. Rico A in the chat, what's going on, my man? He says, my mama kind of homeless. What the hell? I don't know if you messing around or you chatting. I don't know what's going on, Rico, but if that's real, damn, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. Damn. Ron Kunda says, why aren't we looking at Hillman? Because he has an Arsenal tattoo. Oh, he has an Arsenal tattoo? That's great. I didn't know that. Oh. I don't think Hillman's all right, but if there's one thing Man United fans saw this year is that we love Prem proven. We love seeing Prem proven players. You know what I mean? Look at Cunha. Look at Mbumo. Oh, love it. Legal Footy. Mustafa says it's an iShow speed reference. My mama kind of homeless. Let me see. What? Let me see. What the hell y'all talking about? Hold up. Can I search this up and watch this, or is this going to be crazy? Is it going to be crazy? Can I watch it or is it going to be a problem? Annuelian in the chat says, hey, John, how are you, brother? Annuelian, I'm doing good. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. Grant Robertson says, what's your opinion about Senna Lamans? I think he'll be the next big star of the club. Ooh, I like that. I'm with you on that. Okay, let's watch. Okay, Mustafa says I could watch this, but I don't know, y'all. I'm a little bit concerned. Okay, we'll watch it in just a second, yeah? Let's keep, I'm going to answer a few more questions here. And Praveen in the chat says, hey, yo, thanks to whoever gifted me the membership. Yeah, shouts out to Ray for dropping the memberships there. Got Perez in the chat says, any business for United in January? For sure, man. For sure. We talked about it earlier on in the stream. I don't know if you're just joining us just now. If you are, thank you for joining us. I do think Manchester United really needs to push hard for a midfielder. If we can bring a midfielder in, like an Elliot Anderson or an Adam Morton, I think that could be so huge for us. And I know that they know. I know Jason Wilcox and Omar Barada. I know they know. They know. They know. You know what I'm saying? Farhan Muslim in the chat says, what do you think about Šeško's performance? Should the winger give more crossing to him, or how? I think right now everything about Benjamin Šeško is positive. I like what I'm seeing. You know, he had a really quiet game against Forest, but that's okay. He's still very young, and he's just his first season in the Prem. Not everybody's crazy like an Erling Haaland, where he just like shows up like a robot. It's not how it works. He's not everybody's Terminator. You know, and I'm okay with that. It's about development. As long as he stays positive and he stays steadfast in his desire to improve, which I saw. Ray in the chat says Kim Duk-jin is a good midfielder that can play next to Bruno. Ray, I'm too ahead of the game now. You can't fool me now. Okay. Anueli says we heard Richard Rios there, Edson Alvarez, and nope. Well, look. Richard Rios, I saw when he was playing out here for Palmeiras, and he looked clean. I thought he was one of the better performers here in the Club World Cup. But we'll have to see. We really will have to see. All right, let me take a look at this real quick, and then we'll see what's up. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a little bit scared. Speak and get a little crazy, right? Hold on.
Oh my God, I'm going to lose.
Wait, I just completely forgot. I didn't even.
Oh my God, I'm going to lose. Please, Pete, I need this. My mom is kind of homeless. I live with my dad. I want to help her out.
Dude, I'm watching the stream while you try not to laugh, bro. That's disrespectful, bro. What's wrong with you, bro? Stop laughing, bro. Look at you smiling, bro. You disrespectful as bro. You don't like your fans? You don't like your fans? What?
Oh, Grant Robinson, thank you for the what is that? Is that a balloon? Does that say goat? Thank you for that, Grant. Appreciate you. I'm too old for this shit, man. I can't. I look, all the love to Speed. This guy's crazy, man. I'm too old for this, y'all. I'm too old for this. Mustafa, you can come up here and you can react to this kind of stuff. I'm too old for this. Oh man. Somebody was calling me the Asian Aisho Speed because of my love for Park Ji-sung. And I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. And I didn't really talk about this before. But this is a message to Aisho Speed. Speed, I'm like Unk, right? I'm a little too old to be competing with Speed when it comes to who's a bigger GOAT. Is it Cristiano Ronaldo or is it Ji-sung Park? I'm a little too old. You know, I don't know if I have the energy to compete with you, but I will say this. Park Ji-sung Park is a bigger GOAT than Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, I said it. What you gonna do? Aisho Speed? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Anyways. Ahat says, I'm scared of Mickey Van de Ven. Don't be scared of Van de Ven. He's good, but we'll take care of him. We have Matthias de Ligt. We'll take care of him. Ray says, I'm so old. I almost fell for a call center scam this week. Oh, no. Mind Gaming says, you're so bad, get a job. You're probably unemployed. The Yo, I don't know about y'all, but like, anyway, K Slater in the chat, what's going on, my man? He says, we know your love for Park Ji-sung. Absolutely. Ross 10 in the chat says, the real ones know how great Ji-sung Park was. Ross, that's what I'm talking about. Blow it up, baby. Praveen says, someone in the chat said Dele Alli is better than Park Ji-sung. What the Who said that? Who said Dele Alli is better than Park Ji-sung? Who said that? Are you... Excuse me? Look, I got all the love for Dele Alli, but how dare you? How dare you? Farhan Muslim says, I hate for missing Ahmad Mbumo and Mizraoui for AFCON. What do you think, John? Is there possible or good for playing on their position? I hate international break for real. Sheesh. Hey, look, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, Farhan. Look, of course, missing Mbumo and Ahmad is a huge loss from Manchester United's perspective, right? But I'm going to say this right now, and maybe some fans might not agree with me, but I'm going to say this for Mbumo's sake and for Ahmad's sake and for many football fans that might agree with me. It is an honor to represent your country on the national stage in any tournament. For Ahmad and Mbumo, I'm sure for them, they must feel incredible honor and privilege to play for their respective nations. Of course, it sucks. Of course that we won't be able to. Of course that the tournament being held in the middle of the Premier League season sucks. Of course. But as Manchester United, we as a football club should be able to be good. Like, we should be good even without them. We got to find an answer. It's the job of the club and it's the job of the players to step up and fill in. Roy Keane talks about it all the time. He says in his time at Manchester United, of course, as much as the main starting players, the 12 to 13 players that were constantly sort of being relied upon, of course they're important. But Roy Keane always had more respect for the players that were on the bench, the 16, the 17, the rest of the players that had to come on and deputize, whether as a substitute or filling in during an injury period, because it was their concentration and their sharpness and their ability to step in and step up when required. And that's the same for this squad. That right side is going to feel a little bit empty. If that's the case, we need to bring a wing. We need to bring a wing back. Play Dallo on the right because clearly he doesn't look good on the left. And then bring in a Mason Mount to play on the right side of 10. We got to do something. We got to find an answer. And we can't put that pressure on Mbumo and Ahmad. They should be able to step away, do their national duties, represent their country with pride, and return and feel completely, everything's cool. Of course, it's easier said than done, but United as a football club, if we're going to be serious once again, that has to be the reality. That has to be the reality. I'm sorry. Vish says, John, we're gonna need one place where me and another mod for instant Twitter and a chat to keep y'all. Yes. You know what, Vish? Well, let me keep a note of that so I can also make sure that I need a boom. I'll fix that up. Yes, absolutely, Vish. We'll get that going. We're gonna need more mods to help out because I think some of the comments are getting a little bit crazy. But that's also, in some ways it's awesome because we are being joined by more folks. Y'all, I'm so grateful that you guys are joining us and having a good time and having discussions and whatnot. But I need y'all to remember when you're here in the Immaculate community, we here as the Immaculate Collective, we try to keep it respectful. Y'all can support any club and we can banter and have fun, but just please, let's keep that respect. You know what I mean? Jeromeo Prescott says, I love you, John, but getting gassed over 3 games, I ain't fooled. Jeromeo, I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, believe. I mean, I will sit here and say believe, but you're right. It's only 3 games. We're going to have to see this for a little bit longer stretch. I would like to see this kind of unbeaten run go on for an additional 3, maybe an additional 5. Nimag Sherpa says, Dallo uses a whole... I know a lot of y'all are not happy with Diogo Dallo and his performances recently. And if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I've actually questioned Diogo Dallo and his consistency over the years for a while now. When he went on loan to AC Milan, I thought that was it for him. I really felt like it was a good move for him. The Serie A would have been a great level for him. But he's had his good moments. And the one thing I will say about Diogo Dallo, as much as we still have the question marks over his quality and his potential future, I'll tell you this. He is the utmost professional and he is a good human being. I know, obviously, that's not the be all and end all. I know, I can't even tell you how many times in the chat people are like, who gives a shit? It's about the football. Yo, you're right. It's at the end of the day, it's about the football. Oh, absolutely. But Manchester United have had so many problems over the years with respect to players and their behaviors, right? And Diogo Dallo has not caused a fuss one bit. I will always have more time for players like Diogo Dallo. It's the same. That's why I had more time for somebody like Rasmus Højlund. It's the reason why I had more time for somebody like Scott McTominay. I might not have liked Scott McTominay's football from the perspective of his role in our squad, but I had so much love for him. I will always have players like players like that. You know what I mean? Goldverse says, do you think we should move on from Bruno next summer? Goldverse, that is a very difficult conversation. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I think it's going to be difficult. But I wouldn't be surprised if Manchester United thought about it. I don't think so, but I don't want that to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if as a board, Manchester United thought about it because it is something that you're going to need to look out for, you know? Jason in the chat says, "Yo, John, what's going on, Jason? Thank you for joining us." Grant Robertson says, "Pak Ji-sung is the most underrated player in my opinion. One of the top underrated players for sure." Rohan says, "Looking forward to seeing Shea Lacey. A lot of people are looking forward to seeing Shea Lacey, JJ Gabriel, Cheeto Obi Martin, Aiden Heaven. We have a lot of good young players. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of good young players, man. But it's about breeding. It's about not breeding." Bringing them in at the right time, bringing them in at the right time, making sure that we're not rushing them, making sure that we're not throwing them into the mix too early and letting the pressure completely overwhelm them. Do you know what I mean? Grant Robertson says, "I think McTominay would have been good under Amorim." Maybe. He definitely could have played this. Definitely could have played one of the two roles, the two midfielders. I think he could have definitely played the Casemiro role, but he definitely isn't as good as a deeper midfielder. Scott McTominay is an attacking 8 that moves like a 10 in the sense that he loves making those late runs into the box. You know what I mean? Howard Shin in the chat says, "Jack Fletcher true." Yeah, I've been hearing good things about Jack Fletcher. That wants to be a mod. Goal versus, but the thing is, we'll never control games as long as Bruno is playing in the midfield. But he's, I don't know about that. I think we do control the game in midfield. You know, I think we do control games in midfield now. Much better now because I think Casemiro has had a bit of a resurgence. But if we are going to be competing or being a little bit more serious as a squad, we definitely need a bit more legs because both of our midfield two is over the age of 30. So that is obviously a concern. I think they're giving more than they can give at this moment in time. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to sound like an old fart, but when it comes to football, especially playing in midfield, man, once you over the 30, it's tough, man. Thank you so much for subscribing, BMX. Appreciate you. And well, he says, people think Bruno is the problem. They're ridiculous. I want to go as far as to say ridiculous, but yes, I do think Bruno Fernandes, if people say he's the problem, then I think I would respectfully disagree. I think Bruno Fernandes has been the shining light in this squad. The amount of good things I hear about Bruno and all the good stuff that he's been doing for the club and as a leader and everything. Ahad says, I hope Cameroon and Ivory Coast get knocked out in the group stages. Nah. Ahad, I get what you're saying, but for me, I would love to see Cameroon and Ivory Coast in the AFCON final. I would love to see Ahmad or Mbumo lift a trophy. Why not? I would love to see that. How happy would they be? How happy would they be? I want to see our players happy, and I want to see them give that much more as a footballer. And if they feel like they achieved something with their national team, they're going to want to pour that much more of a heart and soul into making sure that they achieve something serious with their domestic club, you know? I would love to see them win trophies. Why not? Howard Shin says, Bruno is actually settling into the captain role very well. Well, he said well, but I added very. There's no rules. And making folks better. He absolutely is. He absolutely is. Farhan Muslim says, why didn't you mention Onana? I don't think he's coming back. He's definitely not coming back. Edgar Mendoza says, so we're winning the league? I didn't say nothing. It's Jarrell says, who's Onana? We forget so quickly, huh? Rohan says, what are some things I should be prepared for by 30? Good question. I would say one of the things you should be prepared for, medical expenses. because I've sure as hell spent more money seeing the doctor for all kinds of medical troubles after I turned 30. Tylenol everywhere. Absolutely. Absolutely. Gone Love Money in the chat. What's going on? He says, John, do you think United buy someone in the January transfer window? And if so, who would you want? Gone Love Money, thank you for joining us. We talked about this a few times, so I'm just going to drop the names. I said Angelo Stiller, Elliot Anderson, Adam Morton, all absolutely huge shouts. But I would love it if we bring an Adam Morton or an Angelo Stiller. Vispo's still calling me an ancestor. Vispo, I'm not that old, fam. I'm not that old. Don't be calling me ancestor up in here. Katie says when you're 30, when you're after 30s, you get tired faster. I agree. I agree. I agree. Praveen says healthcare in the USA is absolutely nuts, bro. It is. It is absolutely crazy. It is a can of worms I don't want to waste my energy talking about because all I can just think about is just disappointment. But yeah. This one says, ain't you like 80 or something? No. Come on. Do I look 80? Gover says, we just have to get a new midfielder and build around him. If we can't play Cubby, Bruno is old now, and building the midfield around him is a good sign for the future. I'm going to tell you right now, I think Cubby Mainu is going to be the future to replace Bruno Fernandes. I think so. Dot says, John, did you watch the World Series? I did catch a little bit of it. Shouts out to the LA Dodgers and congratulations. But yeah, I'm not a big baseball guy, although I've always had a little bit of interest in it. I was just a bit of a hater because a lot of my friends growing up, we all grew up on basketball and NFL, and then a lot of them now start talking about baseball a little bit more, and some of them started roasting football, like footy. And I was like, how freaking dare you? Soccer or footy is a way better sport than baseball, respectfully. And we've been having beef a little bit with my homies. Every time we meet up for dinner, we're just beefing. Legal Footy. Mustafa says, yo, Big J, I'm going to head out, my brother. Heading to Pier 40, my bro. Enjoy the rest of your stream. My dog will link up soon. My man is always grinding. Always grinding. Shoot, I would love to head out to Pier 40 with you, Mustafa. Damn it. Damn it. Vispo says he's going to Brazil. Damn, cool, man. Where you going? Goal versus 30 is old, man. Come on. Damn. 30 is not that old. Stop doing that to us. What are y'all like, 15 or something? LeBron or Jordan? I'm going to go Kobe. Kobe Bryant. I loved Kobe more than I loved LeBron or Jordan. And that ain't to disrespect any of them. They're obviously all GOATs, but I'm going to go Kobe. Adrian says the left wingback position is where we struggle the most. Need a new player there instead of a CM IMO. The left wingback position is where we struggle the most. Yes, we do definitely need 100%. Adrian, actually, in my match reaction video against Forest, I actually said that while the main conversation about potential signings is a midfielder, at this moment in time, I truly believe that the left wingback position is just as important. Vispo going to Sao Paulo. Very cool, my man. Very cool. I have yet to visit Brazil. I would love to visit Brazil. I feel like I have like a little bit of Brazilian in me. I don't know why. I love Brazil. I love the vibes. I love the music. I love the football. I love the footballers. My favorite footballer ever, apart from Park Ji-sung, is Brazilian. In Ronaldinho. Vish in the chat says the illusion is from gaming and generic stereotypes that 30 plus decline. Generally, the trend is 28 to 35 is the player's prime. 34 is the average for the decline. I think it really depends on what you're looking at, though, Vish. Because when you're talking about, for example, the Premier League that demands so much from a physical perspective, I think it's a little bit more difficult to say that 35 or 34 is the doing that in the Champions League and La Liga, because it's a very different league. What's going on, Sulfuric Acid? Thank you for joining us. Praveen says, are you following the MLS playoffs? Yes, Praveen, I am. With very close eyes on LAFC. Because I have, in my thoughts, I think LAFC are going to win, in my view. Did you see Maddie's new video? His computer was crashing. No, I didn't see his new video. Let me see. What's going on? Maddie's video was crashing. Let me see. Maybe it looks okay. But shout out to Maddie always. My boy's killing it. My boy's absolutely killing it. But yeah, anyways, guys, I think this is a good place for us to leave it, man. I think we talked about it for quite some time. I think we talked for quite some time. It's over an hour now. I was actually planning on just doing about a 30-minute stream because I need to head out, and we've talked over an hour. I hope you guys enjoyed this. You guys know, as much as I want to do streams every single day, I just don't have the time. But I'm going to continue to do my best to come on here and do as many streams as possible. If you guys enjoyed this kind of sort of AMA Q&A style conversation where I just leave the platform open for you guys to sort of discuss, let me know. And somebody was asking me why I don't do a call-in show. We tried that last time. It kind of worked out. But a lot of people seem to have a bit of an issue with Discord. But yeah, I mean, a call-in show would be absolutely dope. So we'll definitely set up something like that. But yeah, I think it's a good place for me to leave it, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Appreciate every single one of y'all. If you guys are new to the channel, please consider subscribing all across the social media platforms. And of course, thank you all for your love and support as always. But yeah, this is where I think we'll leave it for tonight. Be happy, be healthy, take care of all your loved ones. Yeah. And until next time, we'll see y'all very, very soon. Good night, y'all.